Evan Smith here for Princeton TV here with Dillion Tate. Dylan, tell us a little bit about, so you started game one. Take us through that a little bit.
Um, if anything, I learned from game one is, I came out and I was trying not to let my emotions run too high, so probably came out a little too relaxed, I think, just to make sure my emotions didn't run too high, and got off on a little bit of a bad foot, and it was unfortunate that I couldn't get that momentum, rolling since we had just scored in the first inning, but I learned from it.
Definitely. Yeah, talk about, like you're saying, it's a learning experience. Tell me a little bit about how you can use some of the things you learned in a playoff atmosphere and, use that going forward.
If anything, I learned from the last game, in addition to what I just said, is probably to come out in attack mode a little bit more. And I feel like I have enough baseball experience at this point to know how to slow the game down when it's starting to speed up on me. So, if anything, I'll come out attacking, and if I need to slow down, I'll slow down, not the other way around.
How was your stuff feeling the other night? 'Cause sometimes you can kind of feel it, like in the bullpen, like your command and whatnot. Did you feel like in the bullpen that you were doing, you felt pretty good, or?
I felt okay in the bullpen, but I don't really look too far into my pregame bullpen and correlate it to how I'm going to do in the game. It's two completely different throwing sessions, so I never look too far into it. I just use it to get my arm loose and get ready to get going.
Definitely. Hey, tell me a little bit about coming here and what the batters have been like. If they've been a little different, or like what you see, or like what you've been kind of working on.
The batters are more selective here, definitely, and they're looking for their pitch in a certain zone, is what I've noticed so far. And if it's in that zone, they do a pretty good job of putting a good barrel on it and squaring it up pretty good. So I've noticed that contact is a little bit harder here. There's more selection out of the hitters when they're at the plate. So just means that my consistency has to be a little bit sharper than it was previously, but that'll get better.
And now talk about getting better and making improvements. Like how obviously the big thing about the farm system is developing your pitches and things like that. What measures are you taking to kind of make your curveball a little sharper, or like locate a little bit better, things like that?
Honestly, right now, one of the biggest things that I could do a better job of that I will, be more cognizant of going forward, especially in my off season, is doing a better job of keeping runners on first base and not letting them get those bags, stealing second and advancing into scoring position. So, doing a better job of one, keeping them at first base when I'm in the stretch, and number two, um, learning how to sync my body up and my delivery so that my stuff is the same in the windup as it is in the stretch, because I've had a problem with that and my stuff, ticking down when I get in the stretch when I try to be quick to the plate. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm going to attack going forward, and trying to get better at that and get my body synced up.
So you said you were kind of using like a slide set for a little bit, and then it would kind of was it throwing you off a little bit? You're kind of saying, or?
That was a while back, but I'm not necessarily going to be using a slide step going forward, but just making sure I have a quick time to the plate, preferably under 1.3 seconds to give my catcher, adequate time to get the guy at second base in the event that he does go, and making sure that my stuff is still playing up the same in the stretch as it is in the windup.
Trenton Thunder had a phenomenal year this year. You kind of joined like halfway through the season, or like,
More than half.
yeah. So you joined at a crucial time during the playoffs. Like, tell me a little bit about that playing for such a winning team this year, and also what the playoff atmosphere has kind of been like.
As far as playing with a team that's just had so much success this year, you just want to come in and continue that trend that they're having, and um, just keep helping push the team in the right direction. And as far as playoffs go, um, the atmosphere is a little bit different than regular season. It's the pace of play is it's faster, even though the games are taking a longer period of time so far. But it's definitely more fun. You have to be a little bit sharper, and we're definitely up to the challenge.
You think that kind of prepares you, for if potentially down the road at the major league level, like these type of games?
Absolutely, everything, not just the playoff atmosphere games, but games under your belt in general, and learning from them will, I believe, prepare me for the big league level and everyone.
Right. What are your goals kind of going forward?
For this year,
Yeah, this year and then just in the future, like what do you set out?
like I said previously, is to get better at holding runners at first base and having my stuff play up, um, and then just continuing to work on my pitches more and control them. I would honestly like to improve my endurance more out on the mound, and just got to exercise my arm more. Honestly, it's no different than any other part of my body, so it requires a lot of work and putting it through a rigorous program of some sort, just like working out.
Yankees are, a first class organization. Tell me a little bit, what it's like, what it's been like playing for them.
It's definitely been an honor, and I'm excited to be a part of this, big youth wave that we have going on here. And there's just so much talent, and it's definitely an honor to be a part of that group and the things that this organization has planned for in the future. And I think there's just a lot of exciting things to come.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.